Vortex back with the review of this 13.3 inch monitor I bought recently from AliExpress. Is a 13.3 inch. You can get 15.6, but I think it's more money than this. IPS panel, all metal. I'll go through all the connections in a bit, but as you can see, this is connected to my PS4. I'll just pause the game. Yeah, this is my PS4, and it's also powered off one of the front jacks of my PS4. So this is really easy to power. Yeah, this game's I thought I'd use as a test because it runs at 60 FPS. All it does at most of the time. It's a good test compared to some that runs at 30 frames a second. Excuse me. So yeah, it runs at quite high frames per second. Because obviously it's only a 60 Hz panel. There's no point testing anything beyond that because you just get tearing. So I thought this would be a good test. I don't know what you can see, if you can see what it looks like, but through my end it looks really quite good. As it's an IPS panel, excuse me, as it's an IPS panel, it's got really good viewing angles. It works fine. It's a really nice panel. I'm not sure what the response time is, but I presume it's quite low because for my testing, and I'm using a wired PS4 controller in this example, it seems really responsive. It seems really responsive. You know, it seems like whatever panel they use is really nice. I've also tested this with my laptop. Works absolutely fine, not a problem. You extend the monitor in your graphic settings and it works fine. Pulls it up as 1080p, not a problem. But I thought I'll use it as this test because my PS4, which is this, is right next to me. So yeah, it's been powered and obviously HDMI into the back, not a problem. Ports on the side, which I'll just move it across, as you can see. So I'll unplug it in a bit, but you got mini HDMI, 3.5 jack. I've tried it with these with my test subject, the infamous blondes. I think everybody knows these by now. Fine. The headphone output is pretty clean, to be honest. I no problems. There's no noise, no interference, and I pushed them to about 20% volume, and it was 25%. It's more you'd ever need. Headphones 30%, 35%. It seems fine. No real issues. Yeah, micro USB, and that's for the included power adapter. If you see in the box, sorry, power converter. Sorry, it's a small one, that big, but it doesn't come with any power like bricks in the box. It's just the 2 wires and that small adapter. But if you check my inbox video and you'll see what I mean by that. Comes with this small stand, which is exactly what I wanted, because where this will be when I finish this review is on a small shelf, and some of these have like a large, it's kind of like a fabric that sits here, and it sits, and I wanted something that could be small, and this stand's very small, so that's exactly what I wanted. It's got 2 speakers on the back, which I'll unplug in a bit so you can see. They sound average, nothing special at all. You can't push them too loud, they just distort, like 50%, which was the default volume what this came set at, was all you'd ever need. But as you say, they don't sound great, but it's there, so not a big deal really. There's nothing on the side here, I'll show you in a bit, and on the back are the buttons. There's 5 power ones at the top. There we go. And it works. So there you go. I'm in HDMI 2. So yeah, bottom of the bottom, menu. One from the top which says auto is for picking resolutions, as you can see here. There's only one plugged in, so, and that also acts as the back button in the menu. So bottom one is menu. There's 2 buttons above that because there's 5 buttons in total, which I'll show you in a bit. The one up from the bottom is the way of going down, see, and the one above that is to go back up. It's all in English. See, if you can see, 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. Also, this panel, which I didn't know till I checked the settings on the PS4, is actually HDR. I don't know if it's HDR10 or anything like that. I don't have anything to test that, but it does support a HDR input. So say the menu goes off by itself. Yeah, so I'll go down. I dropped the contrast a bit because it seemed a bit bright. Click the bottom one to actually go into it. These really up it. That's quite dark. I'll leave it as standard. Changer. I'll do standard. Back out of that. DCR, I don't know. It seems to affect the contrast a bit. I'm not quite sure what that does, so I'll put that back. Here we go. Aspect 16:9. Let's go down to that. 4:3. There you go. Only 2 you can pick off. All of them are locked because I think it's because of the profile I've picked. Go out of that. Color temp. Click that. See, all the default values change. Cool, user, which I left as user, warm, cool, user. I kind of like it in the middle. It seems the most natural. Back it, oops. There we go, there we go. Back out of that, back out of that. Language, not too many. 12 languages. English was the default. Oops. Then these, down there, down there. HDR mode. I don't know what 2084 means, but from my end that looks really green. But I'll let the professionals can obviously play around with all that. So I've never used a HDR panel before. Down. So yeah, I'm only one HDMI port, so you can obviously change it through the menus. Auto power down, off, because I don't need to just shut off on its own, but I can change it. Just click that. I guess that's minutes. Scroll down, low blue light. Volume, you can change it either in the menu or when you're out of the menu. There's up and down buttons, which I'll show you in a bit. That's how you can change your volume without being in the menu. So you can do brightness, do lots of things without actually going into the menu. And you can obviously mute it. There you go, mute. Simple. So back out, back out. See, volume up, volume down. I've had to disappear. And you can also say do brightness all without going into the menus, so it's not too bad. There we go. If you click the bottom one first, If you do the bottom one first, that's brightness. If you do the top one above it, that's volume first. So you can, it's not too bad. What else can I say really? I'll unplug it. Actually, yeah, I'll unplug it. So, yeah, so IPS panel, anti-glare panel. So yeah, 2 speakers. Obviously power on and off. Bring it towards me. So yeah, power on and off as you saw. Auto is to go between HDMI ports and is back in the menus. When you're not in the menu at all, that's your volume control, up and down. And then if you click that one first, that's brightness and up and down. And that's again the menu system. That's for like a mount, so the 4 screws. And I'll just flip it towards me. So obviously mini HDMI, headphone jack, USB power, and that's if you use an external power adapter, which I don't have, but anything seems to power it. The front PS4 ports power it, and I think they're only USB 2, which I presume they are. That's it. Obviously those just the height. It's quite light. Not sure the exact weight, but it's quite light in my opinion. That's it. Not much to say really. It works pretty well. You know, probably worst part, the speakers don't seem too great, but input response seems good. The quality of the headphone jack's fine really. You know, it's quite a good overall unit. Some people had theirs arrived damaged, but mine's been perfect, so I'm not sure what to say really about that. Does works fine with this, my PS4. You could use, if you use your PS4 a lot, like for travelling, you could put this, my PS4, which is just here, as you can see the side. You could put that in like a large laptop bag, use it for travelling. It's an option, but obviously it's designed to be used as a second screen for a laptop, and I like it works fine for that. I don't have any problems, so I recommend it. There's also a twin version of this, which is Type C, which is exactly the same size, and I think when I last checked, it's only like £5 more expensive. So that'd be useful for people who've got Type C laptops that support that as an output, and obviously you can use as a second monitor. But this will work fine for my usage, and I had to wait for this cable. This was waiting on to use my PC. So HDMI out. So yeah, that display port into my graphics card, and then the cable from this will plug into there. That's my plan anyway. So that's it guys, I'm out. Not much to say really. It works fine. It does exactly what it's supposed to, and the price is decent. I'm not sure the brand who actually makes it, but it works fine. I recommend it. It's a good quality item. That's it guys, I'm out, and I'll be back soon with another video.